Hey guys, what's going on? I'm going to talk about ARMS because I just played it recently, sorta. So just this past weekend, they had the Global Test Punch, which is a really stupid name, by the way. But it was basically the Global Test Fire from Splatoon, but for ARMS. And if you don't know what ARMS is, it's Nintendo's new Switch game. I think it might be the first exclusive Switch game, possibly. Might be something on the eShop, but seriously, it's one of their bigger games that are coming out this year. And they had the demo, and I played a pretty good amount of it. I played the first session. They had, like, the hour-long kind of things going on. I played the first session, and I can't remember, I think I played the second one. I got my time with it. I've been looking up a lot of stuff about it. I really like it, and I actually have a lot to say about it, so I'm going to talk about it. This is my thoughts on ARMS. So I'm going to get this out of the way first of all, just because it's the easiest thing to talk about, is that the game looks and sounds amazing. The main theme, which is probably going to be the background music to this, is really fucking good. It's got a lot of style. It's very memorable. I'm sure a lot of people will be humming it. It's kind of like the Smash Brothers theme, or the Splatoon music. It's very memorable, very different. It's cool as fuck. I love it. I love Nintendo's doing that. It's actually very similar to how they did Splatoon's aesthetics, the way they're doing it with ARMS. ARMS is the best way I can describe it, it's very branded. Like, the way I mean by that is they use, logos, big branding in-game to make an artistic aesthetic. So, everything's very bold, everything's really in your face, everything is very bright and colorful. It's kind of like a summertime kind of feeling thing, like Splatoon was. I'm getting a lot of Splatoon vibes from the game, but it's different. It's a completely different game, and the character designs are much different, obviously. But I do actually like the character designs a lot, too. They're all very distinct, and some of them fall into kind of a generic kind of category. You got, the main guy and girl, who are very kind of generic main guy and girl, but they put their own little twist on it, and they're all very likable character designs. Just because they're a little cliche doesn't mean it's a bad thing. But yeah, the fucking game, the colors are great. The choice of colors for each character is really good. I can't get over the theme song. It's so fucking catchy. And yeah, it's a good looking game for sure. That is the immediate get-go, is that the game is beautiful in a lot of ways and is very eye-catching. I guess that might be a good way to describe it. So that was kind of fast. But in terms of gameplay, which I'm probably going to take up a lot of this time talking about, the game is really well made and really cool so far. And there's a lot of reasons for it, and I've been thinking about it a lot, so obviously I'm just kind of going to start talking about what I've been thinking. So the main mode that I'm probably going to talk about, I'm going to ignore all the different modes. There's a lot. 1v1 is definitely going to be the mode to play, in my opinion. The demo had party mode, which was you basically just get put into a random kind of game. It was either 1v1s, 2v2s. There was free-for-all up to 4 people, so it was either 1v1, 1v1v1, 1v1v1v1, and then there was volleyball, 2-on-2 or 1-on-1 volleyball, which all of them were equally fun, but I do think the game is balanced around 1v1s. No character is good at volleyball. It's just kind of like an extra little thing. So the way it works is basically, it's a third-person 3D fighting game. So basically you have, your punches and long-range punches, and there's so much to talk about how, intricately designed it is. I kind of realized this from the beginning. There aren't many games like this where long-range, you have close range and long-range, basically. And things like grabs bring you to close range in a lot of ways, and, it's really cool. So basically, you can throw out punches, you can curve the punches, you can throw out a grab, which is throwing out both your hands to grab people, and you can jump and dodge, and people have certain areas of dodging. So I'll talk about this first. All the arms have a way to be charged, which I didn't know, actually. It was one of the things I didn't really realize from the gameplay. But when you dash, when you guard, and I think when you're just kind of idle, if you don't do anything, your arms, charge, and when they're charged, they apply status effects like explosions or staggering or blinding, which is like stupidly annoying. I hate that. It's not a good status effect. It's straight up annoying. I think there's an ice one. There's a ton of them. So basically, when they're charged, if you punch someone and you land it, you know, they get that status effect. The explosion one kind of sends people in the air and all sorts of different things. And I didn't realize how well that works, because it doesn't really make your arms more powerful in terms of its speed or like what it can go through. It just makes like landing that hit a lot more what do you call it, a lot more important, I guess. Like if you're charged, you want to land that hit because it's a good hit. And the fact that you have 2 arms is really cool too. Obviously, it's like the weirdest, out of context, that might be the weirdest thing I've ever said in my life. Having 2 arms is very important. No, but in terms of gameplay, having the ability to use both arms is really cool, because grabbing is done with both arms. So you need to have both arms in a straight line to grab, and the grab hitbox is pretty small, so you're able to jump around it, you're able to dodge it really easily, and you're able to punch the grab away, which in hindsight makes grabs kind of useless. Not really, because grabs are actually pretty fast and actually decent in this game. They don't do a ton of damage, and they don't do you're on the ground for a while after, and you can actually manipulate. You have basically DI on how you get up, so you can influence which direction your character is going to get up when he gets off the ground. So if the guy's approaching you from the left, you can get up to the left or right, so that you dodge them efficiently or mix it up. There's a lot of mix-up potential. Dodging and air dodging is really fluid and works really well in that game. And I don't think you're invincible during it. I can't really tell. It's one of those little things that's hard to tell until like I've played it enough. But a lot of characters have really good dodges, and it seems as if mobility might be like king in that game. Not that the heavy hitters are bad. I was playing a heavy hitter, which was Mechanica, which is the girl in the mech who can basically, her charge is also like super armor. So when she's like dodging and jumping, she has super armor, which is good. You still get hurt, but it's good. I think that might be one thing they could change, if anything, is, I was just trying to think about this, because heavy hitters definitely are a little bit, I'd say, if there were tiers, on the lower tier side, in my opinion. They're good, but like, I guess mobility is so key. I think if they gave heavy hitters a little bit more health, it might help, but whatever the case, mobility is actually really fucking good, and in my opinion might be the first thing they might patch. Not that it's bad in any like specific way, but like characters like Ribbon Girl, who can jump like 4 times, really good, because grabs can only go in a single direction and is channeled until it's done. Like, it's interesting because unlike Street Fighter, your jab is very fast. There's not ways to like approach or initiate a jab. Once you get hit by it, it's done. Arms, there's a lot of room for dodging, countering, because all of the moves, regardless of what kind of punch you do, has a huge wind-up time. It's got a big hitbox, and there are arms that make you have bigger hitboxes, but it's actually balanced really well, because your characters, I don't know, it's hard to explain. I think you might have more mobility in a game like Smash Brothers, but the mobility that you get in arms is perfect for the type of combat you're doing in that game. It's well made. That's all I'm trying to say. What was I just going to say? And the different arms. You get a ton of different arms, which can, manipulate how you play the game. And at first, you have like 3 to choose from for each character, and I think I saw that you can get more. Don't quote me on that. I think that's the case. It should be the case, because there might be an anti-air arm, or like, there's more blocking arms, there's bigger arms, there's faster arms. You choose, does better. There's arms that curve better, yada yada yada. But all in all, in terms of gameplay, it's solid as fuck though. Like, it's weird because even I think a game like Super Smash Brothers, when I first picked Super Smash Bros., there were things that were, like a little like about it, and like, it's not that it's a bad. None of these are like bad games. Examples I'm giving. It's not like ARMS like trumps these games, but like Splatoon's a good example. When I played Splatoon for the first time, it was pretty obvious that there were certain ways you were going to win. There were certain, ways people were going to play. I don't know. It wasn't as, like, immediately satisfying to play as something like ARMS, because ARMS is so, like, tight and strategic feeling immediately. And I know people are going to, talk about how it's a party game and, it's kind of not going to be taken seriously, which, to be fair, might not. It's hard to get a game to be taken seriously these days. I think very specific games are taken seriously. There's really no reason a game like Pokken wasn't taken seriously. I mean, I actually don't know the balancing of that game, but it dropped off really fucking fast, and I think just because people weren't interested in it, and like, that's fine. That's what it takes to be a popular fighting game, so I hope ARMS gets that kind of attention. I think it's good enough. I think people are kind of putting it in this category of kind of silly kind of party game, but I think there's enough strategicness, is that a word, to warrant, like, competitiveness in this game. It's actually pretty solidly made, and I mean, this is just from first glance. All this stuff I was talking about with gameplay, this is just from what I've seen. I'm not, don't quote me on any of this. This is just speculation. The grabs could be much bigger than I think they are. They just look small, and they seem small from what I could tell. And there's seems to be a lot of modes to choose from in the game. You can see them all in the demo, but you can't choose them. There's a ranked 1v1 mode, I think. I think that's what that is. There's a Grand Prix, which is like single player. There's, some other things. I actually don't even have it on me. Those are some I saw. They added more characters from the last time I think I talked about it. There were like 5 to begin with, and I think there's now like 10, maybe like 9, which is pretty cool. Definitely different play styles, and they say they're going to be adding DLC characters, or at least additional content, so maybe there'll be more. I'd love like a Little Mac reference, or like a One Piece reference, a Luffy character. I do like how all the characters in ARMS have like different ways they use their arms. Like Spring Man is a spring, and Ribbon Girl is a ribbon, and Ninja Guy is like chains, and Mummy is like the tape, or the the mummy the bandages, and like the Mech Girl is like kind of like pistons, like she's like it's part of her mech. It's kind of cool. I like how they're doing that. Yeah, there's gonna be a cool game, and I'm extremely excited for it. I actually just proved it today. There's something else I was going to talk about. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe I'm just like blanking. Maybe I already talked about it. But whatever the case, I'm super excited for ARMS. I hope everyone else is. I think it's going to be a good time. And it's seriously my type of game too. I really like those kind of fast fighting games. It's got a lot of style. It just seems like a good time. So I hope to see you guys all in ARMS. We can 1v1, and I can kick your ass as fucking Mech Girl. What is her name? God damn it. I just said it earlier. Mechanica. Yeah, that's it. Like my main. I don't even remember her name. Hopefully she'll be my main. She's really cool. So, yeah. Thank you for listening to me ramble about ARMS. I am very excited about it. So, see you guys next time.